Hi there. It's Catherine, and I am happy to be here with you for my Sunday reflections. Wow, what a ride! um, I have something particular that I want to chat with. Well, I usually do when I come to these vlogs. But last weekend was the FDRS conference, and I talked a little bit about it. But there was a sharing there, a patient sharing that went right to the core of my heart. Her name is Cara Cruz. She's known online as Pale Ginger Pear. I think that's what it is. But we'll know in a minute because I'm going to show you some photos. And and because of my own experience and the experience of others that I know and have worked with over the years, I started out as a very big proponent of liposuction surgery. Well, to say that I was a proponent, um, you know, in the beginning, when I started to explore possibilities, I had the hope that surgery was going to be a magic bullet, that it was going to be the thing that would make a difference, and that the lipedema fat would be taken care of, and that things would just, be magical moving forward. And that wasn't so for me. It has been so for some. And what I've often said when people have asked me about it is do your homework, make sure that you keep your expectations realistic. Um, that, there is some research that in some cases the fat will come back and that it can travel to other parts of the body. So having liposuction in your legs can sometimes create more fat in your trunk. So there are issues like that are important to at least be aware of. And so I often say that. Hi, Peggy. Good to see you. Be sure to say hi in the chat so I can say hi back. But I was so impressed with the transformation that took many years, a lot of different um, surgeries. Cara had 7 surgeries. Hi, Becky. Hi, Clara. Oh, so Clara's from Oklahoma. Um, yeah, say hi and put where you're from in the chat for me. Uh, but I am going to share my screen and I want to talk a little bit about the possibilities because I'm one to totally support whatever works for people with lipedema, for lipedema ladies, because not the same thing works for everybody. Hi, Julie in North Carolina. So Julie and Becky we were just in a meeting. We just had our monthly wisdom circles. And so a couple of people here were on the wisdom circles. I'm so glad you're here with me. And someone, it just says Facebook user from Michigan. So I'm going back and forth, but I want to talk a little bit about Cara because I've invited her to come for and feature her for a presentation and a Q&A for our lipedema community. And so, and this is why I've invited her to come. Let me, okay. This is going to look weird because you can see it sort of like goes into infinity. I love that kind of stuff. But here's Cara. So this is before she started her journey with surgeries. She's had 7 surgeries. And what she told me, you can see the complexity of both lipedema and lymphedema in her saddlebags and in her thighs and in her cuffing. And she has lymphedema as well. You can see her feet are swollen. And after I believe this is after 6 of the 7 surgeries that she had. This isn't even when she's complete. So while her pictures are pretty stunning, part of what was so stunning to me was her process. She's very articulate. This is her with her surgeon, and you can see the extreme lipedema that she had in her legs. Some stage 4 lipedema often has the folds. Hers is very advanced stage 3, I think. I'll be curious. It's a question that I'll ask her. So, and she's very active on social media, but you can see some of the before and afters. I know she had a abdominal, either a peniculectomy or a tummy tuck, and a number of different liposuctions. And you can see she did have a arm reduction, which is a lot of surgeries. Okay, I'm going to come back and stop sharing and come back because I want to talk about, well, first of all, she was incredibly articulate. Um, and So let me just say a few more highs. Hi, Jane from Newfoundland, and Peggy's from the Southwest Louisiana. Becky, you're from North Carolina. That's great. Julie, I already said hi to. So back to Cara. Is the dedication, what it took to go through 7 surgeries with her son is now 14. She's a single mom. And what it took. She was telling me that her first surgery was just before the pandemic. So all of those surgeries were during most of the pandemic and then afterwards. So for me, it's a bit of a pivot, because I have not been one for a long time. As I said, I was very supportive of surgery. It's not that I'm not, it's just that I'm a big proponent of conservative care. Conservative care tends to be the mainstay, the cornerstones of what can work for lipedema and lymphedema in my world. And I invite others to share what works for them as well. So Cara is going to be coming in and giving a talk and presentation during Lipedema Awareness Month. So every year in June, we do some kind of supportive awareness raising, some kind of celebration. And I want to talk a little bit about it. So last year we did a boot camp, which was several days. This year we're going to do what's called a challenge. I keep learning all these things. I keep learning these things and I keep trying them out. But a lipedema challenge, which will be a featured speaker and information and community building and community interaction over a period of days, probably the second week in June, first or second week in June. We haven't quite landed on the dates yet, so you'll be hearing from it. And it's very simple for a couple of hours. We found that the longer version was very time consuming for people. So we want to be able to get information out to be able to have the connection and make it workable. So that's what we're in the process of looking at. And so I've invited Kara to be one of our featured speakers. So she'll be one day during that lipedema challenge. And and other things. The other thing that I want to invite you, let you know about, is that we our very first symposium was November 2020. And we all know what we were doing in November 2020. We were in lockdown. And so through all of that, we had started the year with signing a contract for a hotel, and we were all set to go to Charlotte, I think Charlottesville, North Carolina. It was North Carolina. Whether it was, I can never remember if it was Charlotte or Charlottesville, but anyway, whichever one that was, we were all set to go and have a face-to-face live conference. And then, as we all know what happened, so we pivoted. We kept, saying, well, when do we need to make a decision? When do we need to make a decision? And finally we pivoted and did online. And now it's difficult to go back to face for us because we have so many ladies from all over the world. Fiona comes from New Zealand. We have a number of people from Australia, from South Africa, from all over Europe, from the UK, from all over the United States. And, it would change profoundly everyone's ability to, number one, access all the learning, all the connection, the encouragement, the support, all of what we do with these events. So we came up with something that I'm thrilled about. We're going to be having location-specific face-to-face meetings. I've done it before. I've had people meet with me here in Boston. But the month of June, we're having what we're calling Tribe at the Table meetups. So, if you're interested, the first weekend in June, I think it's June 4th, I'll be sending out an email, is in Nashville, Tennessee. June 11th is in Boston. And Nashville, Meredith is hosting. I'm hosting here in Boston. Gail is hosting the following weekend. I think it's on Saturday, in Boise, Idaho. And then Siobhan is hosting the last weekend in June. Again, I think it's on this last Saturday in Denver, Colorado. And then ladies have stepped up. Julie is going to be hosting in North Carolina. Orally in Tampa, in the Tampa area of Florida. Somebody else, we've had people email in and offer to host in their area, which is great. Someone in Northern California, in the Sacramento area. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up all the meetups. And then if anybody wants to host one, we'll add it to the list. And we're going to be getting together. Now, there may be 2 or 4 or 10 or 20, however many ladies show up. And the idea is just to offer support. We were going to do it, we decided to do it from 2 to 5. Who knows? I know that I once had a group where we were scheduled to go and we spent 8 hours together, whatever. But, 2 to 5 is a good time frame on a weekend, so that we can get together for coffee or tea or whatever is good for you. We don't have anyone in Houston yet, Peggy. So if you want to do it, just shoot me an email. Let me there's my email, everybody. If you're interested in attending, shoot me an email. If you're interested in hosting, we'll send out materials. We'll probably send out a video or two. And mostly what we're going to do is just offer support because it's such an important part. It's such an important part of our healing process. So that's my reflections for this week. But I'm going to end with what I use for every single presentation that I give. And this is what we're all about. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. And I have been waiting my whole life for this. And I know so many of us have. And, finding that place of equilibrium, homeostasis is what Leslin says, that balance, and finding a way to be present. Allergy season. Finding a way to be present and loving towards ourselves. That's really what it's all about. So thank you. And I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful week. Thank you. And I'm sending hugs and much, much love.